Morning people, this is OG Gaming with another video, and today I have a video that I want to share. I'll talk about what's going on in the Call of Duty community. Now, I've been on my computer for about an hour now looking at all of the people are so pissed and so hurt over the Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, the remaster of COD 4. Now, they go out and buy this game, and the way they set it up, you got to have both games to run. And then if you don't want the game anymore, then you got to have the game's useless. You got to keep it together. You never could resell it, So they made it that way. And then you go out and buy the season pass, and the season pass always covers every additional downloads, additional maps that come out. That's not what's happening, man. They announced that the remaster COD 4 will not have any supply drops. What do? They put supply drops. Now, this is the problem that the community does not understand. I'm not saying all, but I'm going to try to break it down from a business point of view. Now, when I was a contractor, I had my insurance, and I had to be bonded. Insurance and being bonded are two different things. You got liability, workman's comp, and all that stuff. And then you got to be bonded. In case you decide to walk away from the job, they get somebody else to come in to finish the job. That's what being bonded is. And so that's an overhead. So when I would go bid a job, I would make sure that I bid that on top, Whatever it was, if my payments were $40, $60 a month, let's just say I would actually add $60 or $80 on top of the bid, and then factor in the material, stuff like that. So you're breaking it down. You got the overhead. You always got to make sure your overhead cost is in the bid. Now, even with the material that you buy, whether it's paint, wood, whatever, you're allowed to mark it up a little bit to make a little cash on that. So it's part about being in business, So now what you see here in Activision, what Activision is doing is this. Infinite Warfare, the game tanked. It really did. It took a hard hit but that's Activision's fault. Because when they were, the Call of Duty community were saying, we don't want this. We want boots on the ground. And that's why to go out and probably make a new game, they just thought real quick outside the box, hey, let's remaster COD 4. That's boot on the ground. They didn't even have to do that, but they did. That was probably a faster way than actually going back to the drawing board and sketching up a whole new game. Okay, so what Activision did, Activision had to pay their investors no matter what, whether the game tanked or not. It's a good thing when the game does not tank. But in this case, we all know that it did terribly on sales. And then you have Activision, their investors, wanting their money. You got to pay them no matter where you're at and sales, So with that being said, now how's Activision going to recoup their cash that they lost on sales? Now they got to pay their investors, so now they implemented all the supply drops. Now, not only in Infinite Warfare, because we already knew that Infinite Warfare was going to get supply drops. There was nothing surprised about that. But when Activision tells everybody there will not be any supply drops in the new remaster of Call of Duty 4. So after the people are playing it, that let all the frustration settle down, the hype settle down of how terrible the game was, and the sales was bad, and then they started looking over the numbers. Oh, we got to do something because we can make even more money if we add supply drops to the new COD 4 remaster, and I'm almost 99% that's what happened, and that's why you see the supply drops and remaster, and that sucks because you're only screwing over the people that buy the game. They're screwing over the fan base, and they don't need it. Now, I didn't go out and buy this game, but I do have a long history with Call of Duty because I never made any recordings of my gameplay, but I got games to back it up. I mean, I got hours and hours of gameplay on the server that I got every Call of Duty game out except Infinite Warfare. I haven't got all the series of the Black Ops, all the Call of Duty Ghosts. I got, in Modern Warfare 2, I got it all, So I know when this time around, I said I'm tired. I'm not going to support Activision because of what they're standing for now. It's all about what they can get out of the people now. They don't care what you say because they're doing their own thing, and this is the end of it. And I hate to knock Activision down, but you got to call it as you see it. It's like being an umpire in a baseball game, They took a really big gamble. They're taking a big gamble on this next game coming up because if they're not going to listen to the community, they're never going to recover from this because they're known now at being lying to the community by putting in supply drops in COD 4. And they said they weren't going to do that. So what you see here is a tactic of business strategy. They're trying to recoup the loss of their sales because they did terribly, and they're trying to recoup some of the money that they actually had to pay out to the investors. Well, that being said, folks, thanks for watching. And if this made any sense, leave a comment down below. And I hope I made it very clear, about this whole ordeal, because that's how we do it in the business world. We try to recoup. Like I said, when I go out and bid jobs, I make sure I bid my insurance costs into that, to that, the work that I'm going to perform, because that's how I pay my bills. And it's no difference from Activision doing the same thing. But I never said to a customer, I'm not going to do this, and then do it. No, that's not me. And that's where Activision is wrong. All right, folks. I went on a little too long, but like I said before, I hope this is helpful and you understand how things work. Until the next time, this is OG Gaming. Later, guys.